Our 15-minute AMRAP question for today is a really good one. A term that is often used before the Metcons, but I don't think it's all the time understood. We all heard about RX. So, what does RX mean and how do you calculate or come up with it?
How do I choose the RX weight for the Metcon? I bet a lot of, well, maybe not a lot. I bet for sure some of you have looked at the board and saw the workout of the day and looked at the weights and the variation and thought, that is not for me. Or another one that I hear often is when I'm asking people how the workout went, it went good, but I didn't do RX. It doesn't count. It's like, I think there are a lot of misconceptions of the RX is apparently some kind of magic that you need to strive for. But let's start. What does RX mean? It's basically whatever you see on the board, exactly how it's written there. If it says 60 kilos for whatever reps, 20 reps, you use 60 kilos. If it said keeping pull-ups, you did keeping pull-ups, you didn't do ring row. So you took the weight as it's written, you took the variation of gymnastics, let's say, as exactly there, you didn't change it, and you did exactly the amount of rounds. If it said 5 rounds, you did 5 rounds, because when we adjust according to your fitness level, these are the things that we start tweaking: the volume, the variation of the exercise and the weight. So if nothing was changed and you did it exactly as written on the board, then it means you were doing the workout RX. Some misunderstandings of what people think RX means. RX means elite. RX means it's only for the strong people. RX means it's the goal of CrossFit. RX means the better workout. So the reality is that RX is just the start point of the workout, the start point where everybody starts from. From there, you in communication with the coach will adjust the workout according to your current fitness level. The RX is just one version. So everything starts from there, and then we scale up or down, because we can also scale up. It happens also sometimes, and I'll tell you later why, because it's focused on how do I choose the RX weights. So sometimes I have people that can do a little bit more, and I know it. So sometimes it scales up also. It's not only scaling down. The RX workout, the RX version of the workout, it assumes a certain fitness level of the persons that I have in mind in the gym. And most importantly, the RX version of the workout has as an aim a certain goal, a certain stimulus I want to reach with that workout. So the question is then, why, if that's just a framework, why have RX? Just to begin with, I think it's because CrossFit, in essence, it's the fitness of sports. So there is a huge competition element to it, and having, especially for certain workouts that return, the named workouts, the benchmark workouts, it's from the point of view of sport, of fitness, it's very handy to have standard workouts with standard weights, because then they're repeatable, and then if I do them later, I can see if I improved. But of course, on a competition floor, everybody's supposed to do the same. So it's good to have a certain standardized version where we can work from, so that when I do Grace, that it's 30 clean and jerks, and it's 60 kilos for guys and it's 40 kilos for girls, and it's always like that when that workout is programmed in the RX version. Same for Fran, 2159. I know it's thrusters and pull-ups, and it's going to be with 40 and 30 kilos. Like I said, RX will influence the workout. It will influence how fast you're going to do it, how you're going to pace this workout. It will influence the RX, and RX weight will influence how long or how short this workout's going to be. The longer the workout, usually the shorter, the lower the weight. The shorter the workout, usually then we can go a bit higher in weight. we cannot go high in weight and keep on moving and do 30 minutes. So it's one or the other. So RX weights, they influence if it's a long, short workout and what I want to achieve with it. And of course, the weight is going to influence movement quality. For example, if we're going to do a 12-minute AMRAP, it's not supposed to have the same feeling that what you're supposed to feel in a 30-minute AMRAP. In a 30-minute AMRAP, I'm not supposed to put, if it's, let's say, deadlifts in there somewhere, I'm not supposed to put 120 kilos on the bar and rest more than I'm working. If it's a long workout like that, that's why the weights will be lower, so you could keep on moving. I will put a rep range there and a weight choice that I know you're going to keep on moving. When I make the workout, who do I have in mind? A common phrase in CrossFit is program for the strongest, scale for the rest. But I'm programming in mind not necessarily like looking at people from outside or looking what the CrossFit Games athletes are doing on certain workouts. It could be that I'm scaling a variation of grace, and I know it's 60-40 on the IRX, but knowing my community that I make it 50-35. So I'm just looking in our community and I'm having in mind a person that has been doing CrossFit for a couple of years that has a certain amount of cardio and has a certain strength base. So these type of people that are coming in 3 to 5 times a week, this is the type of person that I'm having in mind. And just to get them there a weight that I know that's going to give them a good workout without overdoing it. And then everybody that has less experience or maybe doesn't train that often, and it's normal if you don't train that often, I cannot expect you to have the same strength level or the same fitness. We shall adjust the workout accordingly there. And then that's where comes in that briefing from the coach, where he says, for example, okay, this workout has 10 back squats. I need you to, the workout weight, the RX weight is, let's say, 90 and 70. Me in the back of my head knowing that the guys that are very regular gonna be able to do that for 10 reps. So then the coach is gonna tell you, this is the RX weight, but I need you to pick a weight, knowing yourself and the history of your trainings, that you can also do 10 reps unbroken. So that's how we adjust the workout, so we get the same stimulus. Because in the end, when is the workout in the perfect scenario perfectly adjusted is when that fittest guy in the room and you finish about in the same time. Then, in my opinion, it's what we would like to achieve. If you, as the one that didn't take the RX and took a weight and scaled it down, if you finish 5 minutes before that guy, it means you probably could have gone a little bit heavier, or make one of the variations on the gymnastics, for example, a bit harder. And then the opposite, if you finish 10 minutes after him, you made it too hard. So we're trying to get you as close as you can, so everybody in the group finishes about the same. So then we know we kind of scaled it up or down perfectly for everybody. And if I see as a coach that maybe I misjudged somebody in up or down, then I know next time maybe I'm gonna be closer when I'm gonna give my advice. Because especially for you new guys, it's also a trial and error for us. I don't know you. I need to see you move. I need to see you in cardio. I need to see you in strength movements for me to make a little bit of an assessment. This is where his strengths and weaknesses lie. And then I can start tweaking a little bit on what will be the perfect variation of the workout for you today. So what's the RX not for? First time CrossFitters, your people that are still learning the moves. Like I said in other podcasts, RX is not for you. You not just need to worry about moving well. RX, it's about intensity and about weights and about speed and about that type of stuff. Don't worry about that. Move at your own pace and just make everything look as good as possible. If the base is good and you move well, there are big possibilities later down the line. But we need you to stick to the base first. If you move well, a lot of things will be possible, but you need to be patient. So don't worry about the RX. The guys that are doing RX, just look at it as like this. If you would be worrying about RX on month 1, these guys have earned the RX. They went through that beginning phase, they have regular training under their belt, and in some cases they've been doing this for years, so they earned that RX weight. They can move it without overdoing it, they're comfortable with it. And if we will go in detail and you will ask that person, when you see him move those 60 kilogram power cleans, he can probably do power cleans with 100 kilos. So he's stronger than that. That's why most of the Metcons, you'll be working with 40 to 60% of your 1 rep max when you're deciding on weights in a Metcon, because that's still light to medium. So that means those are weights that you can control. And because it's light to medium, the quality of movement should still be very high. When we work with heavy weights, we take more rest because we cannot do a lot of reps with heavy weights, and then the technique breaks down and then injury risk goes up. That's why in Metcon parts, the goal is cardio. The goal is not getting strong. That's why we're working with light to medium weights. So that's why it takes a while to get to know what is your upper end strength, to then know what is your 40 to 60%. So in the beginning, just focus on moving well, and we're gonna together, by trial and error, we're gonna figure out what is gonna be appropriate for you. And then the last one who RX is also not for, it's actually a double one. People coming back from injury. When you're coming back from injury, you need to ease yourself back into it. It's like an obvious one. But then the second one is also people coming back from longer holidays and breaks. It's a dangerous one if you're, because I have many examples that I hear this story. Somebody that's training very regularly, doing RX weights, is pretty fit on all levels, then taking a 2 to 3 week break, you're super recovered. And then making the mistake on day 1 to jump back into the same weight you did 3 weeks ago, it's a mistake. You're going to get big muscle pain, and on the spot you're going to feel very okay because you're super recovered. Maybe you don't do that often enough. Like train hard for 4 to 6 weeks and then a week where, or you take some more extra breaks, or a week where you just lower the weights and the intensity, so it's a more of a deload week. But if you then all of a sudden, after maybe you did 6 months in a row training and then you took a break for 3 weeks, you're going to feel super after when you're back on your first week. But you need to realize that it's normal. You just tapered, you deloaded very hard for 3 days. You got your body full rest, nothing, everything is recovered, muscles, joints, everything feels super. So don't go to the RX weight on the first week. Go a little bit under it. And then from day to day, from training to training, feel how does my body react to it. Does it react good? Then maybe you can do more on the next training. Is it more sore than you thought? Then you should be happy that you didn't go for the RX weights and you used common sense and said after a 3 week break, I don't take 60 kilos, I take 50 kilos. Still close, still get you the stimulus. Less weight doesn't mean necessarily that the workout won't be good. If you take less weight, just go a little bit faster. It will still feel like you got a really good workout in. And these first 2 groups, beginners and so people that are still working on their technique, and the guys that are coming out of injury, it's easy for the coach to know about it and to know, he directly knows, okay, for this person, I need to already walk to them. I need to adjust. This guy just came out of injury. I need to remind them a little bit about, okay, take it easy. Tell me if it hurts. If anything hurts, we change it. Don't work in any of the moves with pain. Don't aggravate the injury more or re-aggravate it. But the one coming out of holiday, we don't always catch them because I'm not always up to date. I'm not always having all the classes. So it's going to be or dependent of your communication or very dependent of you to keep in consideration what I just talked about in the last minutes, that you need to hold yourself back. You just got out of a long break. So communication, as always, helps us to help you. So if you communicate, it's going to make it easier. But if not, if you're coming out of a long break for whatever reason, know that you can't do exactly what you did before. Any long break will need a bit of a ramp up. Maybe just a week of a little bit easier, but it will need a bit of a ramp up. Don't get all excited on day 1. Like I said before, how do I decide what the RX weights are on the Metcon? Most of the time, 40 to 60%, so we can keep on moving. Sometimes that percentage is higher, but that has more to do with the stimulus. Maybe that workout is a bit more strength focused. It could be something like 20 minutes every minute on the minute. On 1 minute, you do a heavy lift of 1 to 3 reps. Can be anything. 3 deadlifts at 80%, which is 20% above that 40-60 range of usual Metcons. And in the second minute, I want you to do 12 calories air bike. So this is a Metcon. It will raise your heartbeat, but it's more strength focused. So sometimes it happens, but most of the time, think 40-60% of my 1 rep max. When you self-adjust or when the coach makes that decision, that's where he's thinking about. I'm adjusting the workout according to your 1 rep max. That's why he sometimes asks you, how heavy can you deadlift? And then he's thinking, okay, I think what's appropriate today? Okay, 50%, 60%, 40%. That depends again then on how many reps to do. So the RX weight, I choose it. Again, like I said, keep on moving. It's according to the stimulus, and it's to make sure you limit your amount of rest, because part of CrossFit is intensity, constantly varied movement at relative intensity, constantly varied. But that intensity is relative, but I'm trying to regulate that intensity by choosing the weights in a certain way. Like the example before, if in a long Metcon your weight is too heavy, you're going to rest too much, then intensity is going to drop. We want to give you a cardio stimulus, so that's why the RX movements and the RX weights, they're chosen for a certain reason. So if the RX turns into long breaks, like sets of 1-2 reps instead of a set of 7, 8, 10 reps like the coach explained in the beginning, if it turns into bad technique, then the stimulus is gone. So that's why that RX is an important reference point. Reference point for those more fit guys in the gym. And then we'll adjust according to, it needs to be unbroken, it needs to be 10 reps in a row, it needs to feel like this. So that's how we adjust it for everybody else. And then maybe, what could I still say? I bet the reason why the question was asked is probably, when do I know if I should go RX? So I would say ask yourself a couple of questions when you're picking a weight or when you're picking a variation of a movement. Can I do this with technically good reps? Can I keep the intended tempo, the intended pace, like that stimulus that coach was talking about for today? Will I finish in that goal time? Because we usually mention that. This should take between 15 and 17 minutes. Do I think I can manage to finish there? Can I move in big enough sets every time, on every round on these movements? And important, if I choose the RX today, will I be able to recover and train again tomorrow or the day after? Or will I manage to do the RX, but I will be broken because the RX movement of today, maybe it's a huge amount of reps, or maybe it's a movement I don't do so often. I'm strong enough, but if I do this version today, I'm going to be in huge muscle pain. Or maybe I didn't catch, this is a one that always gives you muscle pain. Maybe I didn't do lunges in like 3 or 4, I can't even remember when I did lunges the last time. Maybe then that's not a good idea to do the 60 kilogram lunges. That's then the reason maybe why I don't take RX, because I haven't done it in a while, and I know this is going to give me huge muscle pain. And why do I think it's important? That you should ask yourself the question, if I make this choice today, can I come back tomorrow or the day after? Because fitness is all about coming back regularly. It's not about one hero workout, one RX workout a week, and then be 3 days down. That's not how fitness evolves. It maybe makes you feel good on the moment, but we need to work step by step. If that's your main goal, and I don't think it necessarily is the main goal of CrossFit, I want to do all workouts RX, I want to get to a fitness level where I can do everything RX. It can be a goal, but if that is your goal, to get closer to that, it's by doing small jumps closer to the RX and train as regularly as possible. If you make 2 big jumps and you go from 40 to 60 kilos all of a sudden, you're just going to get more stress that you might not recover from. And then if you're not regular enough in the gym, then it defeats the purpose you're going for. So better to go from 40 to 45 for a while, from 45 to 50, and just be able to train 3-4 times a week. It will get you faster to RX than making the jump too fast. If the answer to these questions on 2 or more of these questions is no, then you shouldn't go RX.
End of story.
Yeah. And maybe a short advice to the guys that do go RX on a regular basis. We brought it up before. Not every day needs to be RX. Not every day needs to be RX weight. So be sure to be very in tune with your body. Pick, if you train 5 or even 6 days a week, not every time it's at 100%. And when I mean 100%, it doesn't just mean the effort you put in. 100% also could mean I work at the same speed, but I take 50 kilos instead of 60 kilos. Yeah, RX is 60 kilos today, but I take 50 kilos because I'm going to hold back a little bit. I'm not feeling so fresh today. So I think if you can get 2 to 3 days in RX, you shouldn't feel bad to take a little step back or adjust the movement or do a little bit less volume. It's all part of the process. You cannot feel good every day. If you push to full intensity and always RX every day and you train a lot, it's only a matter of time you're going to hit the wall. So feel your body a bit. It goes in ups and downs.
You might break, but
you might resist for a long time, but you might not. So I'm just advising you, it's only you that feels it. So it's you that's going to need to have common sense, but at least ask yourself the question, how do I feel today? Did I eat? Did I recover from the last training? And make your decision smartly. So in general, I want you to think of RX in more of a general sense. It's maybe less doing the workout that's written on the board, RX, the thing I need to strive for because that's what the top guys do. See it more as doing the workout appropriate for you. That's what you need to aim for today. That would be, for me, you're doing the RX. Yeah, you don't push that button. Yeah, you don't have that between brackets glory on the leaderboard. I did the RX. You made the smart decision. This is RX. Adjust the workout and pick the weights for the level you have now. The more regular you come, the more fit you will get, the more the weights will go up. They will even go up higher than what the RX on the board is for some of you. So pick appropriately, do it for long enough. You're going to get strong, you're going to get fit. RX is not the destination. RX is not the end all of what your fitness depends on. Like if I didn't do RX, it was a bad workout. RX is just a reference. Train for progress. Don't train just for the whiteboard.
That was it for today. Thank you for listening. Share this with somebody that needs to hear about this. For sure you know one person that is doubting today I'm going to take a risk or not. And see you in the next one.